There was one truth every air force on Earth believed. You do not break a nation's industrial heart from the air. For decades, generals, engineers, and economists all agreed on the same rule. You could bomb cities. You could burn factories. You could terrorize civilians. But the arteries that actually powered a modern nation, the water, the electricity, the steel, the flow of raw materials, those systems were too big, too redundant, too protected to be destroyed by bombs alone. Germany believed this more than anyone. The Ruhr Valley is not just a place. It is a machine. A dense, tangled engine of dams, canals, power stations, steel mills, and coal mines that pumps the lifeblood of Hitler's war economy. More than 80% of Germany's steel comes from this region. So does most of its electricity. So does the water that cools the blast furnaces that turn iron into tanks. The Luftwaffe protects it. Flak towers ring it. And behind it all sit massive concrete dams, built to survive earthquakes and centuries of pressure. No bomb can crack them. No raid can reach them. No air force can break them. That is the rule. But in 1943, one man decides to break it. You are Wing Commander Guy Gibson. You are 24 years old. You already have more than 170 combat missions behind you. You have flown bombers through firestorms over Germany. You have watched friends burn alive inside aluminum shells. And you have learned something most commanders never do. Fear kills faster than bullets. You command a brand new unit, 617 Squadron. A hand-picked group of the RAF's best bomber pilots. Men pulled from every corner of the service. Veterans, hotshots, survivors. They don't know yet why they were chosen. But you do. Because Britain has run out of ways to hurt Germany. The bombing campaign is failing. Factories rebuild faster than bombs destroy them. German production is actually increasing. In 1943, Hitler produces more tanks, more guns, and more aircraft than ever before. So you need something different. Something impossible. And that impossible idea comes from a quiet, obsessive engineer named Barnes Wallace. Wallace studies German dams. He runs calculations. He builds models. And he realizes something no one else sees. The dams don't need to be destroyed from above. They need to be cracked from the side. He designs a weapon that sounds insane. A cylindrical bomb that spins backward, skips across water like a stone, slams into a dam wall, sinks, and then detonates underwater, where pressure will shatter concrete like glass. The weapon weighs 9,250 pounds. It is called Upkeep. And only one squadron in the world is insane enough to try to use it. Yours. 4 weeks, you train at 60 feet above the water. At 240 miles per hour. In the dark. With 2 spotlights mounted under your Lancaster bomber that must converge on the water at exactly 1 point. When the beams meet, you are at the right height. Get it wrong by 10 feet and you die. Miss the release by 1 second and the bomb misses the dam. German flak gunners know this. They wait. And now the night has come. May 16, 1943. You climb into your cockpit and turn toward the heart of the Reich. The North Sea rolls black beneath your wings. You lead 19 Lancaster bombers. 133 men. Every aircraft carries one weapon. One chance. You drop to 100 feet. Then 80. Then 60. Trees rush past beneath your wings. Church steeples whip by. Telephone wires flash under your fuselage. German radar spots you. Searchlights stab into the sky. Flak begins to climb. The first target is the Möhne Dam. A wall of concrete 130 feet high. 2,000 feet long. Holding back 140 million tons of water. If it breaks, the Ruhr floods. If it holds, you have failed. You arrive at the dam at 12:28 a.m. Tracers rip past your cockpit. Explosions punch holes through the night. The first Lancaster goes in. It releases too late. The bomb skips, hits the wall, sinks, detonates. The dam holds. The second Lancaster explodes in midair. Flak tears it apart. You watch men die. The third drops too far out. The fourth strikes the dam, but still nothing. You are running out of planes. You line up your own aircraft. You feel every second. 1,500 yards. 200, 900. The spotlights converge. You are at 60 feet. Bomb gone. The weapon skips across the water. Once, twice, 3 times. It slams into the dam and vanishes. 5 seconds. 10. The explosion hits you like a hammer. A column of water and debris erupts 300 feet into the air. And then you see it. Crack. The Möhne Dam begins to collapse. An entire side gives way. A wall of water 30 feet high surges through the gap. You have just unleashed a moving ocean. Villages disappear. Power stations vanish. Rail lines rip apart. Factories flood. But there is no time to celebrate. The Eder Dam still stands. And it has no flak. Which means it is even harder. You circle for 30 minutes. Pilots take turns diving into a narrow valley with mountains on both sides. They release. They miss. They try again. One Lancaster crashes into the hillside and explodes. Another releases too early. The last bomber goes in. The bomb hits. The Eder Dam breaks. A second tidal wave tears into Germany. And now the hardest part begins. Getting home. German fighters swarm. Flak lights the sky. Of the 19 bombers that left England, only 11 return. 53 men are dead. But the Ruhr is drowning. Midroll CT. If you find this kind of forgotten history as fascinating as we do, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of courage, sacrifice, and genius deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help us ensure they aren't forgotten. What Hitler does not know that morning is how bad it truly is. The flood destroys 125 factories. More than 400,000 people lose power. Coal mines collapse. Steel production drops by 50% for months. The Germans rush 70,000 workers to repair the damage. Workers pulled away from building tanks, planes, and submarines. Air defenses are moved to protect dams instead of cities. The entire German war economy shifts. The true impact would not be understood until later, when Allied armies find entire regions still scarred by that night. One raid. 1 hour. And the Ruhr never fully recovers. Guy Gibson survives the raid. He receives the Victoria Cross. But he does not survive the war. In 1944, at just 26 years old, his Mosquito crashes during another mission. Today the dams still stand rebuilt. But the scars remain. And so do the names. 133 men flew that night. 53 never came back. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Guy Gibson and the 133 men of 617 Squadron do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.